mods. It is a PCS special where you just blindly invade everywhere. You can just send 5 people wherever you want, and it's something we've seen a lot. Is Kurak now going to get stunned up? Might even have to pop this flash. Being very low aftershock pop. One more Q coming through. One more auto. He might be down! And that's not a good start. I think out of every champion in the entire game, the one you don't want to get a random kill before level 6 is the Nocturne. That's going to be a very, very good start for Lauva. Does lose the flash, but ultimately going to take that trade every single day of the week.
So they know they're in this bush, but they can't really do anything about it, right? This is a Shyvana level 1. He's just going to have to hug the wall, walking back to lane, and hope he is able to sneak past this one. I think that, he does get spotted if they do hug the edge of the bush, but Kurak has to get to his tower. He's going to lose some health walking down here,
not able to dodge out there as Chi-Chi does miss out on that Mystic shot, so Kurak's not going to take any further damage. Maybe even Lemus here going to be able to find something. Q does connect. That Q lollipopping is just the most ridiculous thing, by the way. I hate laning against Seraphine because it just feels like you cannot dodge that ability.
Biggest hitbox. But still not the worst start. They got to lane, so they navigated that really hard part, but this is still, the Nocturne getting a kill pre-6, the longsword on his first clear, being going to be able to, shore up the difference between, the power that Shyvana has in his early clear and probably match the overall full clear of the jungle with the extra, 780 in the early game. Is just really nice to have. So going to be very nice for the Nocturne to be able to speed up his early game tempo, have some uptime to maybe impact these lanes pre-6 because he's just cleared his camps that bit faster.
Interested to see how Aurora does here into Fido, into that Lucian. We saw it into the LeBlanc. It looked completely fine into that matchup. It looked to be fine into a Nico of all champs, and so I'm inclined to think it should be okay even into the Lucian. You're not worried about any form of gank pressure for a long, long time in this game, honestly, for both sides of this mid lane matchup.
Shouldn't expect, too much action in the early game as well. A lot of these lanes are, well, they can be volatile. It's more like you have to respect your opponents. You don't want to create, these insane trades in the early game because, you just don't want to put yourself in a position where your Shyvana could potentially get invaded because you've just not doing your job in the early game. And all ground zero want to do is keep priority and make sure that Shyvana can get through that first, 6 levels without any strife. Nocturne, not a champ really known for invading, but is an exceptional duelist. So if he does find himself in that 1v1 against Shernfire, will absolutely win that one. So as long as they do just, maintain this priority and keep these, their lane oppositions under tower, their job is done in the early game.
Yeah, and good trades early on here for Fido as he does go aggressive there, gets slowed up, but not under the tower, very importantly. I want to pick your mind real quickly because, yourself, mid lane main, you would have played in the meta where it was about one patch, actually, where Lee Sin just became the unequivocal best champion in the game in that mid lane. No flash, but he does manage to dodge out of that Sonic Wave, and Lakai's now here. Lauva, he gets that Conqueror procced up, and he is going to go down. Sonic Wave even connecting his teleport comes through from Minji from base, but it's not going to be enough, as it is ground zero striking back, and Tien on that Lee Sin top specialty of his, finding himself a kill early on.
Yeah, that wasn't even, a straight 2v2. This is just the fact that Tien had the priority, was able to rotate first, misses the Sonic Wave, so finds the kill without even his main executing damage there, but this is just Shern recognizing, I lose this 1v1, but you look at the map state right now, he has 2 lanes of priority, they both ping on my way. The first one's the area, so Shernfire initiates this one, happy to proc the press the attack, tank up all this damage, because this is a no-flash Nocturne, and Lee Sin is extremely strong in these early game skirmishes. Yeah,
able to find that kill, and nothing answered back. But I was going to finish off my... Oh, hold up. We have more action. Stun comes through, but Enzo isn't really under all that much threat. Is going to be able to get that recall off, but it's, again, advantage here on the bot side. I'm kind of surprised that Chi-Chi didn't just take teleport in this matchup. Like, I understand, yes, Leona, but you have the Arcane Shift. That's the only champion that's ever going to be CCing you. And I feel like the teleport, when you're against these mages, just makes a whole lot more sense than the combat sums.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the teleport is, especially when in competitive, having that extra bit of tempo, being able to, teleport to these side lanes or maybe even gank the solo laners as the game goes on, just gives you some more avenues in the late game because, while you do have the cleanse, if you do get hit by a stray Seraphine or a solar flare, it doesn't really do much for your game state based on the fact Lemus all of a sudden got a favorable recall, held his TP overall, and is going to walk back to lane. But also, I didn't notice his Keystone. Lemus has gone for Conqueror this game. Not something that we've ever seen on Seraphine. So this could have been why they were able to win out in that 2v2.
Yeah, interesting. Does mean that the poke's going to be less important. Lakai getting looked at here, but he does see all these members of Ground Zero up here. Obviously, Kurak, whilst having a Seraphine as his bot laner, pretty much doesn't have to spend any time there, and I think Enso should probably feel the same, being that he has the Ezreal, but still teleport advantage for Ground Zero, being that the cleanse was taken for Chi-Chi, can lead to a lot of impact around the map being found and advantages for Ground Zero going into this middle stage of the game.
Shun's in trouble.
Yeah, Shun's in trouble. Minji going to pop that ultimate as Lauva trying to find some damage. Culling coming through, though, in the flash. This Q will miss again here for TN, but they're not going to be able to find the damage. Minji flashing over that wall and will get himself back to safety, but it's going to be TN once again picking up a second kill of the game, and it's Ground Zero leading the charge 1k ahead.
Yeah, and Kurak almost hit the flash predict there. This is just really well played by Ground Zero overall. This is the strength of the Seraphine, right? You have to teleport, you can roam away, you don't really care about leaving this champ in a 1v1 against Chi-Chi on the Ezreal. Obviously, Ezreal's going to win out on the individual 1v1, can push that wave much safer. It's going to have more upfront damage to be able to, win the individual 1v1, but Neems is still happy with this game state, and the fact that Kurak was able to allow his top lane to get priority, TN the first one to rotate to that fight, and he's the difference maker once again.
Yeah, absolutely. Minji recall number 2 and still doesn't have that lost chapter, is going to feel miserable about the state of his items. And we'll take a look at what exactly happened. I mean, Schönfire looked like a dead dragon to me here, but Lauva maybe some questionable target selection going for Fido, who still did have that flash, still had that relentless pursuit. Not able to follow up on the damage coming out from Minji, and ultimately just leads to him finding a second death of the game after picking up that early first blood.
Yeah, and this is a huge early game lead for Ground Zero, especially for Tian on the top side. He is going to be able to maintain this priority and, win out on the side lane going into mid game just based on what his team has done for them, or done for him in this early game. So it's really nice to see that the team with the Shyvana is still having a lot of success because they covered up the weaknesses of the champion with their draft overall, and this is just well planned by Ground Zero to draft priority, allow Kurak to roam on the support, and this is what Ground Zero's had so much success on in the LCO, is when Kurak is freed up to roam, when Nemus is on stuff like the Ezreal, like the Zeri, even the Seraphine now, being able to play that individual 1v1 and allow his support to roam is when this team looks so scary.
Yeah, look at the CS difference in this top lane. The blind pick now certainly not working out, as he does find himself at a 30 CS deficit. Lost 2 plates, down 2 kills. It's going to be a long time till this Gnar has any power up against the Lee Sin. Might not even happen at any stage of the game. You do feel like later on when you do have that Triforce and Sterex or Black Cleaver, whatever he chooses to go as that second item, you do become quite strong, in that 1v1 on the side lane, particularly when you are in that mini form. Maybe can find play around that, but that is a long time in the future, and there's quite a few objectives between now and then that Ground Zero can look to secure using the power of this Lee Sin. Stian will spot out Lakai as Schönfire has taken away this blue buff. Minji does find him. They're going to be using that Paranoia, and down goes the Ascent of the Dragon. It's going to have to be a ward jump, but he can't actually use one because of this Paranoia, and with that, we have found our way out. It was a nice ward jump here from Tien, but that's your very, very fed Lee Sin. And now it's a very fed Aurora as Minji's able to pick up that kill. Flash forward coming through as we're trying to find all the damage. And yes, Schönfire does get 1 kill, but it's going to be Enso picking up another. And Fido's in no man's land. He's going to be going down. Who do we give it to? Minji is the obvious answer, and he will pick that one up. So J-Team, they're fighting back, and they're fighting back hard as they do find shutdowns. They find 3 kills in total. It's just the one answer for the side of Ground Zero.
And this is the kills going on as the correct member for J-Team. The fact that Aurora is picking up these kills. We saw what that champion was able to do yesterday from a terrible deficit. So the fact that, while it's engaged is not that ideal for J-Team. Schönfire just trades the ult for ult. The fact that Tien cannot wall jump out here because of the, the lights being out. He cannot see where he is over the wall. And, the ult does miss, but he does walk this one out. And he falls down anyway. I think that Ground Zero extending this trade when they know Braum is coming here is such a mistake, and they fall down for it.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately you get Lakai, right? But Lakai is pretty much out of the game at this point. You certainly shouldn't be committing 2 more deaths and all that gold over to Aurora for that kill on the top laner. Ultimately, it is the decision that Ground Zero do go for, and J-Team going to reap the rewards of that. Although it's still, Ground Zero with a lead in terms of gold, just barely. But that's a problem, I think, mainly because they are just so far ahead in CS. Their solo laners are just ridiculously far ahead. 30 CS at their top side, 20 nearing on 30 as well for their mid lane.
I think while J-Team are falling down in those solo lanes, I think their 3v3 is quite strong. The Shyvana doesn't have a lot of power right now. Obviously does an insane amount of damage, but that's all it is, right? As Nocturne has a lot more utility in the kit, can, go for those weird gank angles with the ult, does have CC, so can offer a bit more in these skirmishes, and I think paired up with the Aurora is where that champ will really get to shine. TP is coming up soon, and I assume that he does have the, first completed item in his inventory, maybe on this wave or the next wave. He's going to reset, teleport back to lane, and that's when you're going to see J-Team come online and be ready to fight.
Yeah, but likewise, Tien, he has his teleport, and he has the Ravenous Hydra online. Typically not the greatest team fight item, right? It's very good at just sort of winning a war of nutrition in that attrition, should I say, in that top side. You're just pretty much never going to be forced out of lane, and Lakai probably will, although Fleet Footwork, Absorb Life, and no mana bar means it's not as bad as it possibly could be. Lalva going to be trading this dragon. It's going to be 6 grubs, 2 dragons for J-Team, so certainly a win con for them, but as the game progresses, if this priority over the side lanes does still exist for Ground Zero, it's going to mean a lot of damage, a lot of chip damage, and eventual towers for the side of Ground Zero.
Yeah, and this is the classic Ground Zero that we know, the 6 grubs going towards Shen, but Tien getting run down here.
Yeah, is going to have to use that ultimate. Enso does questionably use his. Ultimately, I mean, the Brawl Molt not typically going to be that impactful considering there are no objectives up, but still, I mean, Lakai, he is pretty far behind, and finding a favorable trade for himself is going to bode well as he looks for a recall, teleport available, see if he has his Triforce. I would be extremely surprised if he does.
Absolutely not. No way. Those are very expensive items. I do not think he is quite close to that one yet, but the one person who is close to that Triforce should be Chi-Chi down the bot lane. He has been farming up very well in his individual 1v1, but the Blade of the Ring King on fighting him.
Solar Flare and Minji with some nice pathing gets himself away from this follow-up Zenith Blade. It's going to take a lot. Minji popping that ult to get out of that culling, and then Enso coming in with that wall. This is going to mean that his mid laner stays alive, but still, this is pressure on the map and priority in the mid lane. Let's see what Ground Zero can use this for. I mean, at the moment, it is just looking like a bit of farming getting done.
Even though this is only just a 900 gold lead for the side of Ground Zero, a lot of the completed items coming through right now are an insane power spike for that team. So I think with pretty much every single person having a completed item, going to be the Warmos coming out of Kurak a bit later on, but doesn't really need that one to be strong. He just needs to land his abilities. They are online, they're ready to fight, and we should see them start to contest a lot of these camps and these, respawning objectives and kind of fading away from the trading play that they have been doing so far.
Yeah, 1 minute until the Rift Shield, and that would be the next objective to come up as we see Kurak looking aggressive. Hex Flash over that wall. Zenith Blade, they're not going to be in range, and so he's just going to walk that one out. Looking for some targeting around this bottom side. No one really there, though, to be potentially caught out, as we do see some pathing out. Minji doesn't have ult. Not quite. Very close to being up, though. That Malignant's doing a lot of work in terms of that ultimate cooldown, that ability haste. Lava going to get caught out. There comes the spell sheet. He is able to get out for the time being, but will it mean anything by the end of it? Fear not going to be able to come through as the lights are turned off. Yeah, the teleport does come through, but it's all for naught. They do get that team fight win. They get the pick, I suppose, onto Lalva in that jungle, and even finding a nice little Zenith Blade there onto Minji on the backside, but still there is no follow-up. Minji's going to be able to walk that one out. Now teleport coming through from Lemus, and we're seeing the power now of 3 teleports on one team.
Yeah, I was going to mention this one, but I'll hold my point again as Minji is getting dove.
Yeah, all coming out, but he's traded back one. He's looking for a second one, and he might be able to just find it. 1Q landing, but it's a nice flash and fighter getting out of that. But where is he going to go? Schönfire now stuck in an absolute horrendous position. One more auto will do it. Yes, they're not able to find it. The Q, Winter's Bite, misses Schönfire. Dip and dive and duck, and he's trying to walk his way out. Smite comes through. Winter's Bite, and so he connects, and Minji, it's clear cut now. J-Team, they're fighting back. They're still down in gold, but every fight is starting to look in their favor.
Yeah, and overstay there for Ground Zero, not something we're really used to seeing from them. The classic, you can't do 2 plays back-to-back because you're always going to be down tempo and you can always get caught out. And this was Ground Zero initiating a really nice play, right? They had the teleport advantage on Tien, so they walked into the bot side. They used that one to create a play, and then they used their teleport advantage on Lemus to now cover the exposed lane on the top side of the map. So they were maximizing their advantage, but then they overstayed. They went for that second play, and now Minji has 4 kills in his pocket, and we're going to see if this Aurora champion can be that 1v9 monster.
I mean, here we're just going too aggressive, right? Minji able to get out of dodge, really, just going invisible. So, yes, he got stunned, but he's not able to be targeted. And Schönfire, he has no ultimate. What is this Shyvana ever going to be able to accomplish here? Literally just walks into that tower to then try and run away. Does lose his flash.
Tien?
Not able to find it. Yeah, Tien on the bottom side. I mean, Minji has used his ultimate, and Tien has jumped into his ultimate, and Minji's picked up a 5th. Hopefully we get a replay of that, because I do want to see how Tien ended up in that position. He lost Flash and still went down.
And that's just Tien being aggressive on the weak side, right? Obviously going to be outnumbered in the side lane when he's being played away too, but he's just trying to find that cheeky 1v1 because he is so strong and will win that 1v1 quite comfortably. And so just being there on time, we see he's kind of the difference maker in this second game so far. He's always there for the top skirmish cleanup, the bot lane skirmish cleanup, and then once again there to clean up Tien. So he's in the right place at the right time. Ground Zero does get what they wanted on the top side of the map with their setup, but going into this replay, this is just Tien overextending on the map without the team.
Yeah, red buff as well, making this a miserable time for Tien to ever try to get away, and actually looks like he might re-engage here. Yeah, sitting in this bush, they don't know where Enso is, and yeah, just lands the Q, and oh yeah. He even commits the ward jump. Oh, even the flash, yeah. I mean, he tried. Credit to him. But Minji, I mean, it is so cool actually to watch this Aurora champ. Like gets hit by the Q, waits till the Lee Sin comes to him, and then just jumps to the other side of ult.
It's deceptive how tanky Aurora is because she does heal a decent amount in these exchange fights, but now we have a 5v5 setup. Shownfire already lost nearly 80% of his health bar.
Yeah, but Enso does lose his ult as he tries to search for that Glacial Fissure, not able to land it onto anyone, but Chi-Chi starting up this Dragon as a Hextech Soul. J-Team are 2-0 in terms of that priority. Now Shownfire's popped his ult and he's not going to have it. It's going to go down before this Dragon's even nearly taken out. Yeah, the sustain is coming through, but having to get up that ult, and that's a 4-man Aurora ult. 1 kill, 2 kills. Can I get a third? It's looking like Lalva playing aggressive, is going to use that Stride Breaker, but going to have to run away here. Fido does arrive, but it's a 5v3. Meganar only just coming to Lakai. Flash forward, 2-man Nar ult, and Chi-Chi. He's able to play aggressive this game. Is he able to find a kill? No, he won't. Minji is going to gobble absolutely everything up, and that's 3 Dragons now to J-Team, and I think 7 kills for this Aurora.
Got to be 8.
Maybe 8. Kurak with the flash, but the Q does miss as Lemus dipping and diving himself. Does not manage to find his way out here as Chi-Chi now waiting on the Kurak to stun. 1 more auto and Minji. Yet again, it's going to lose Enso's life, but by God, do we have a Fed Aurora.
Absolutely, and this was one of the downfalls of Ground Zero in the LCO. Whenever they fell behind, they never conceded anything. We see that in that state. The setup on that Dragon. Shownfire loses almost 80% of his health, but they stay around and they try to contest this one. We really see the ult running out. This is a terrible scenario for them to be in, and the fact that Aurora can just land this huge between worlds into the entire roster. Fido is not here. They have no way to turn, and they could have cut their losses, just walked away, given Shownfire and the Dragon, but they decided to stay. They try to outplay the 3v5, and that cost them everything.
Yeah, and Lakai, I mean, a fantastic find there, right? The flash, the 2-man ult, and I think we're now seeing kind of the weakness in this Lee Sin, right? There's a clear difference in what Lakai can get done in a team fight versus what Tien has to do to find anything in a team fight. It's a lot more mechanically intensive for this Lee Sin. Requires more setup than Lakai. He just gets his Mega, E, flash, R, and pretty much all he needs to do, whereas Tien has to try and isolate Minji ultimately. I mean, he's not ever really going to find anyone else. He has double TP, but Fido loses half his HP immediately, pops the culling. That's going to go and get absorbed entirely up by this wall as Lemus, as the Seraphine, not going to have all that much autonomy and can't find anything really. Chi-Chi now is going to probably force out the flash or the ultimate from Shownfire. There does come the Ascent Dragon, but I mean, that's not how you want to be using your Shyvana ults. This J-Team, though, with utmost control.
Definitely does seem to be that case. J-Team, once again, all over the map with all the aggression, but Ground Zero, not a team who likes to concede stuff. They're going to fight, even if it does cost them this game. They're up on the top side of the map. Shownfire's ult is going to run out here, and this is signs. They're like, okay, guys, we need to reset, wait for the ult to come back so we can be aggressive again, but have to see if they have that discipline, because so far they aren't really showing that to be the case, and it's kind of weird to see a Seraphine be on the team that you would consider to have the weaker team fight, right? You look at J-Team's comp right now, just overall, it's so much easier for them to function in this, 5v5 state. And the win condition of Ground Zero was going to be these side lanes, but all of a sudden, there's an 8-0 Aurora. When the control mages can get priority on the side lane, the game state is in a terrible position for you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people go to the Northern Hemisphere to see, you know, the Northern Lights, right? Everyone's really infatuated with that. But I think Minji might just be the most beautiful Aurora that I've ever seen because he is playing so flawlessly. This game started very rough for J-Team, and it's been almost just plays back to back to back to back by this mid laner that has found them back in there. And I said it at the top of the day, right? He succeeds on these majors, typically the melee ones, but honestly, even, you know, you get the Azir and whatnot, and Aurora seems like a champ that he's added to his champion pool as he looks to almost entirely solo carry the second game.
Yeah, this is a very different look for Ground Zero. We're always used to seeing, you know, this inconsistent, chaotic playstyle for them, but Lemus is the one who is in this position right now, being really fair, but I'll hold my point.
And so, yeah, he's going to get engaged upon, but he finds a fantastic glacial fissure for that re-engage, and more importantly, this Aurora ult is once again fantastic. Minji claiming one. He is stunned up now, though, and Kurek's going to be able to answer back. It's Lemus who picks up the shutdown, but still Chi-Chi's going wild. Very, very low health bars on the side of J-Team. What can Chi-Chi do? Fido going aggressive, Fido going forward, but Chi-Chi finds a triple kill. Lemus, there's so many low health bars, but he is just one little Seraphine in a world of J-Team members, and nothing can be found. It's on a knife's edge, but it's once again J-Team coming up trumps.
Not sure who picked up that shutdown onto the Aurora, but that is massive for the side of Ground Zero, and if they were able to pick up more, we saw how many blinking health bars there was on the side of J-Team, so these fights are still extremely close, even though J-Team has quite a big lead. The gold doesn't really tell that, this team fights don't really tell that. Ground Zero definitely has the hands to win this one, but so far, it is the J-Team showing these fights, and it is Chi-Chi being unleashed to do so much damage.
Yeah, it's just a lot used here on the Braum, who ultimately stays at half HP, and you'll see at the back end, Lemus, a fantastic ultimate. He catches on to Minji there, and he ends up getting that 1,000 gold shutdown. Possibly not the member you exactly wanted on. Phyto, I mean, if you really examine this, there's probably something he could have done different, but it is just such a rough fight, and there's just the instance he flashes forward and loses vision that exact instant. And that could have just been the exact difference maker in this team fight. I mean, Lalva, the wherewithal in the middle of that to put down the pink ward to ensure there wouldn't be vision, but ultimately, what a rough sort of scenario there for Phyto. Is Ascent Dragon going to be used? Lalva, though, he is just soloing away this dragon. It's the Hextech Soul. Enso puts up this wall, and Tien goes aggressive. But Ground Zero can't find a way into this river. The Hextech Soul's getting taken down. 8k HP. How are you getting in here? Surenfire is losing that dragon so quickly. Minji's on the wall. He goes to put that ult down, and Lemus in this no man's land. The snipes, the Hextech Soul. And while it was close for such a long time, the wall comes tumbling down, and it's J-Team who tear it apart brick by brick.
That's a huge engage from Likai there. There was a lot of hesitation on the side of Ground Zero, right? We just saw them, you know, try to contest that one, but once again, Enso just stands in front, puts the wall up, absorbs all that engage, and there is no, you know, follow-up threat when he absorbs all that. They wait for the Shyvana ult to run out, and this is the problem with the champ that we keep seeing in these games, right? Is there's just not enough uptime on that ult where you can get an insane amount of damage with that poke. You know, it's just about, you know, 3-4 E's that go out, and then all of a sudden you're back to that human form, and you're not really doing anything. As you can see in this replay, Shen popped this ult so early, and all of a sudden this objective, which, you know, isn't really started yet, they just have to buy time. J-Team doesn't have to really do anything besides buy time. They have the inside track on this dragon. Surenfire can't walk in and steal this one, and they just have to play goalie, and that's exactly what Minji does here.
Yeah, Minji just activating that ultimate. I mean, Lemus, he picked up that 1k gold shutdown, but ultimately not going to be able to find anything for the remainder of that fight. Lakai with that re-engage, finding a nice two-man ult. Eventually, I thought he actually went down, but he certainly did not. And now, Lalva, he was the one getting solo killed time and time again earlier on in this game. He has now turned that around, and Minji now sits at 22 KP out of 24. And one of those KPs was First Blood that he didn't get himself involved in. So just everywhere and anywhere you need Minji to be, he has been there. And what a performance out of this guy. It is J-Team now marching down this bottom side. They have the Baron, they have the Hextech Soul, the most oppressive soul that exists in the current state of League of Legends. And you're seeing it here, the slows coming through. Fido can't walk up, the wave clear's not there. And then comes the engage. Minji so aggressive, just going forward with impunity. And down go 2, down go 3. We've already had 1 go down. Kurek is limping away, and he's not going to be able to get away from Lakai. It's the clean ace for J-Team, and they will not go down without a fight. They will take us to a game number 3. It's Surenfire versus the world, and PCS versus LCO continues to deliver.
Absolute banger games really seeing. While I am biased, I am not delusional. This is J-Team picking up a very convincing win and a Ground Zero showing a new play style we've never really seen before, but obviously not working, and something they need to go back and change. But we'll have to see if they have that same, adversity to bounce back from these really bad games. As we saw from Bliss yesterday, they were able to bounce back from that terrible game 1. I think this game 2 from Ground Zero was not what they are known for. Very different style. They need to go back, have a chat with their coach Benby, and make sure that the players are calm, as Lemus was trying to rally the troops after that first game. They need to get in a good headspace, get a good draft for that game 3, and pull it back.
Yeah, Tully, I got 2 points I want to talk about here. First of all, this series is starting to look like an exact opposite of yesterday's series, the Team Bliss up against Frank, right? Where game 1, complete domination for one team. Game 2, they're very far ahead at the start of the second game, and unfortunately